A variable is a name you give something when you don't know exactly what that thing is yet, but you do know how you want to handle it. For example, you might want to print the user's name, but at the time of writing your code, you can't possibly know what that user's name is yet, so you'll have to use a variable called name. This is why variables are absolutely integral to computer programming. They allow us to handle changing information in a very specific way without specifically knowing or even caring what that information is. When you're doing the washing up at home, one variable would be called cutlery, and the value of that variable could be spoon or knife or fork, but whatever the value is, the algorithm is to clean it and put it away in the drawer. When using variables in code, the computer makes a shelf available to us that we can label. Then we write code referring to that label, and the computer will go to that shelf and carry out our code on whatever it finds on there. So let's make a variable in Bash called vegetables, and on this vegetables shelf we're going to put carrots. Vegetables equals carrots. That's now been completed. And how can we show this? Well, echo vegetables with a $sign will print carrots. We instructed the computer to print whatever was on the vegetables shelf, so it went to that variable and printed whatever it found. The $sign in Bash just tells the shell that it needs to replace this variable with something else. I could have assigned this vegetables variable to onions or cauliflower or potatoes. Bash really doesn't care at all. It will handle that variable in any way we tell it to, regardless of what's inside. So that's how to call a variable. But an important point about when I assign the variable is that if you look closely, there could be no spaces around the equal sign. That's essential in Bash. If your variable is going to have what we call whitespace, then there are several ways to do this, but the easiest is just to enclose the entire term in single quotes, or apostrophes you might call them. Let's try it out. The read command accepts input from the user and stores it in a variable. So here we can say read name, give it a name, and then echo $name will show us that name, because it has stored our input in a variable. If we want to make this look better and appear as a prompt on the same line as the user input, we can use the n argument with echo, which stops it from automatically printing that new line character at the end of its output. See, that looks a bit nicer. Let's try a quick script. Let's ask the user what their name is, then ask what their age is, and print a summary at the end. Notice how I'm including the echo message in single quotes because I want to force it to add that space on the end, which usually it would ignore. Let's run this script and see if it works. Magic.